So in this example, you're asked to find basically and work around a break-even point and deal with profit. So a division of Carter Enterprises produces personal income tax diaries. Each diary sells for $8. The monthly fixed costs incurred by the division are $25,000, and the variable cost of producing each diary is $3. First, you're asked to find the break-even point for this division, and then what level of sales would be needed to realize a 15% profit over the cost of making the diaries. So, in problems like this, there's three functions you need to come up with, although one of them is a result of the first two. The first one is the revenue function, and the revenue is going to be how much money they bring in. So, if each diary sells for $8, then the revenue is going to be 8 times X, where X represents the number of diaries that they sell. And usually it's assumed they're making and selling the same amount. This is not to have a surplus. For the cost, there's two costs here. You have a $25,000 amount that they have to pay outright, and then it's going to cost them to produce each diary $3. So the cost is going to be 25,000 plus 3 times X, where again, X is the number of diaries made and sold. Of course, the profit is going to be the revenue minus the costs. So P of X is going to be R of X minus C of X. Substituting, you're going to have that P of X equals 8X minus 25,000 plus 3X. Of course, that negative sign gets distributed. And then to simplify this, you combine your like terms and you'd have that P of X equals 5X minus 25,000. Now, the break-even point that you're looking for at this point is calculated one of two ways. It's going to be where the revenue and cost functions are equal to each other. And so you could realistically set these two sides equal to each other and solve the equation for X. Of course, if those two are equal to each other, that means that the profit function would be 0. So that you could set this one equation equal to 0 and calculate the same thing. And that's what I'm going to go with here. Setting this equal to 0, you would add 25,000 to both sides, divide both sides by 5, and you get that X equals 5,000. So basically the company would need to make and sell 5,000 tax diaries to make this break-even point. Sometimes you're going to be asked for an ordered pair for the break-even point, so keep in mind that the X value is going to be the number that are made and sold, produced, sold, whatever it is. And then, of course, the Y value, or they often say is the P value, is going to be the revenue or the cost, and that's going to be $40,000. So if you were graphing these two, the break-even point would be they intersect. That intersection point would occur at 5,000, 40,000. As far as what level of sales would need to be in order to realize a 15% profit, well, that means that you want your profit to be 15% of what the costs are. So you want the profit to be that much over. Remember, the profit is telling you basically how much over the cost you are. So and 0.15 is how you would take 15% of something. So you want 5x minus 25,000 to equal 0.15 times 25,000 plus 3x. And now you're going to solve this equation to find the value of x. So distributing the 0.15, you would get this. You would subtract 0.45x from both sides, as well as add 25,000 to both sides, and you would end up with this. And then dividing both sides by 4.55, you get that x is equal to 6,318.681319. It's a nastier looking decimal. Of course, you can only sell a whole number of products, so you would bump this up to 6,319. So the company would need to make and sell about 6,319 tax diaries to realize this level of profit. And so that is the end of this problem, and that is the end of this video. If you have any additional questions, please make sure to bring them up during class.